couple of weeks ago, I took a bunch of these old VHS tapes from the late 70s and early 1980s, and I had them converted over to the digital format. Then I put them in my video editing software and my recording audio software and remastered the audio and the video so that you could get a little bit better experience out of what you would just be watching right off of the VHS. I did the best with what I had to work with. You know, these tapes are 40 plus years old and they've degraded quite a bit from just being in storage. But hey, with the remastering, they're good enough that we can still enjoy them. And they're treasures. They're treasures that have been forgotten about. Now, like I said last time, when I did this one here, this was Treasure Search with Bob Trevelyan and Frank Carter. The Complete Coin Hunter Volume 2, I uploaded that last week. Here's a link to that right here. Take a look at that if you want to see that, if you haven't seen it yet. But today I'm going to do one on Charles Garrett out of Texas from Garrett Electronics. And this one's the Treasures of Mexico. Pretty neat little video he put together, and it just goes to show you that these guys, when they did a treasure hunt, they did it right. This is a real expedition. I hope you enjoy this, and if you stay to the end, I got one more thing to say at the very end. Until then, enjoy the show.
Hello there, I'm Charles Garrett. This film you're about to see was made during a treasure hunting and electronic prospecting trip that several treasure hunters and I made into the remote and extremely rugged Sierra Madre Mountains of Mexico. Of course, we hoped to find treasure, and we did. But our primary purpose was to continue the ongoing field test program of Garrett Electronics metal detectors. As you will see, these detectors more than met the challenge, even when operated over rough, rocky terrain and over highly mineralized ground so common to mining districts. Some of our group were highly experienced professional treasure hunters who were very knowledgeable about metal detector operations. Others would be considered amateurs. Even so, we all thoroughly enjoyed searching the 100-year-old deserted city and the silver-laden river and mining district of the Sierra Madre Mountains. Someday, you may make this same journey. So, let's join our treasure hunters as they begin their descent into the Canyon de Cobre to begin their treasure hunting and electronic prospecting adventure.
Entering the Canyon de Cobre in Mexico's state of Chihuahua with its 2,500-foot vertical drop to the river is an awesome sight. From this point, it takes about 2 hours to reach the famed Batopilas mining district, first worked by the Spaniards in the 1500s. Far below, the narrow road with its sheer 500-foot drop-offs can be seen as it snakes through the heavy mountain growth. In places, the dusty dirt road was washed out and extremely hazardous. The men felt like motorized mountain goats as they eased their way down the steep, narrow road toward the mining village of Batopilas. Almost like a mirage, the sun-bathed village came into view. When the Spaniards first came into this country, they wrote their king, saying there was so much silver on the ground that it appeared to be snow. This small community houses about 1,500 persons and is near the silver mining area. The sleepy little town is obviously enjoying siesta. This road, built to provide a means of transporting precious ore, ran just a short distance beyond Batopilas. It was treacherous, and the deep ruts and sharp rocks jolted the vehicle. Near the road's end, brownish-red adobe ruins thrust their imposing towers and walls through the surrounding undergrowth. This sprawling 100-acre city was built about 1880. To get there, the group waded the shallow river and worked its way toward the city. The men were eager. They couldn't wait to explore this once majestic community. Although it now lies in ruins, portions of buildings still stand, refusing to surrender to the scorching sun, torrential rains, and encroaching jungle. They were reminiscent of a gallant, aging lady, determined to last forever, even though life's trials were sapping her strength and will. As the men entered the outskirts of the ruins, they split into small groups to explore different areas. George, Frank, and Charles decide to stick together. Their trek soon brought them to a massive stone wall, built laboriously by hand. For what purpose, one could only wonder. It was only natural to stop and examine some of the unusual vegetation. This towering white bark tree was only one example of the many beautiful and rare plants and trees in the area. Anxious to begin searching, the men decided to start using their detectors in and around some of the buildings. An inquisitive lizard watched. This and many other corridors ran throughout the lower floors of several structures. Several families had once occupied these buildings, each with its own quarters. Frank searches for small treasures or possible caches that may have been lost or hidden by these residents. Highly mineralized ground, such as this, requires the use of a dual-circuit ground-canceling detector with TR discrimination capability. Meanwhile, Don searches along outside pathways, carefully seeking coins and relics that may have been dropped years ago by the inhabitants as they moved about the city. Monty searches for valuables that may have been dropped or hidden. Often a loose brick or stone was used to conceal a cache. The person could easily remove a stone, hide his treasure, and replace the stone in the niche, concealing his hoard from all but the eye of a modern metal detector. Areas around door sills and frames should be thoroughly examined. George carefully checks out this one, hoping his detector will sense a hidden cache. During a brief pause, A.M. Van Fossen, noted treasure hunter, related a story. The legend says that Pancho Villa and his gang buried a large treasure on the east side of a wall near a large fountain. Intrigued by Van's tale, Roy searches carefully around a nearby fountain and wall. He realizes that based on such thin evidence as a legend, a treasure hunter could search forever without being successful. Meanwhile, Charles was scanning a room, working toward a fireplace. Sweeping his detector over the fireplace interior, he got a solid signal. Lifting a loose stone, he probed into the dirt and ashes. Uncovering several metal objects. As they filtered through his fingers, he realized he had uncovered a small treasure cache of crude silver cobs of different sizes, representing various denominations. A treasure hunter's dream come true. Eager to use their detectors in electronic prospecting, the treasure hunters hiked several miles into the silver mining area. Thoughts of finding nuggets and undiscovered ore veins made the trek less tiring. After establishing camp, the group had many inquisitive visitors, among them several Tarahumara Indians. 2 members of this centuries-old tribe told the men about areas where silver nuggets had been found along a particular stretch of the river. They suggested that the men begin searching near this bridge. It had been used by miners for many years to cross the flooded river. When prospecting in areas of high mineralization, a top-quality ground-canceling detector with correct factory calibration is essential for this type of electronic prospecting. Watch closely here, for Roy Legel, one of the world's leading authorities on electronic prospecting, is about to give a lesson in using Garrett metal detectors to find black sand concentrations and silver nuggets, which have settled into bedrock cracks and crevices. Suddenly, Roy hesitates and carefully goes back over a small area. His detector signals that he has found a good black sand concentration in what we call nature's sluice box. He carefully digs into the ground. He next scoops the material into the gold pan for panning. As Roy quickly washes the lighter debris over the edge, the sharp 90-degree riffles of the patented gravity trap gold pan greatly speed up the panning process and allow rapid recovery of the heavier material. Its forest green color permits rapid sighting of the more valuable substances. Roy demonstrates this by pointing out 2 silver nuggets sparkling in the black sand and water. Several of the group have used their detectors and located some promising black sand areas. Dredges were then moved into position to suck the potentially rich deposits from the river bed. There's plenty of company as the Indians, particularly the children, swarm about the operation. The dredge material is placed into the gravity trap gold pan and panned out. Their reward was several beautiful silver nuggets. The adventurers were so engrossed that they nearly lost awareness of this rugged yet beautiful land. Deep brush-choked canyons split the mountains and lower foothills. To continue their electronic prospecting survey of the area, the men now turned their attention to the mines, where they would search for silver veins and test loose ore samples for silver content. To begin their survey, they selected a mine which was once known as a rich silver producer. Charles' immediate interest is in checking the various small pieces of ore scattered about the mine floor. The content of conductive metal in an ore sample can be determined very quickly with a correctly designed and factory-calibrated metal detector. Nearby, Roy carefully scans the mine walls, trying to locate veins of silver that may have been overlooked. While the early miners were good at their jobs, they could not see through rock and were often unaware that rich veins were only a few inches from their picks and shovels. Notice that both men are using larger coils on their detectors. While not essential for ore sampling, the larger coils do provide a much greater depth of detection capability when electronic prospecting.
I thought you might want to take a look at some of the treasures we brought back from our trip. This, for example, is a 7-pound piece of pure native silver and gold taken from an ore vein so rich that in places it was 1 foot wide. Smaller silver nuggets, such as this one, make very valuable collector's pieces. They are formed when chunks of ore break away from the mother lode high up on the mountain. Of course, nearly everyone is intrigued by the thought of finding buried treasure. And every time treasure is found, a slice of history is revealed, bringing us new knowledge about the past. These trading pieces, found in the fireplace, dramatically show us one more way in which man has converted raw silver ore into a form of money. Unfortunately, time does not permit me to go into the details of electronic prospecting. I assure you, however, that treasure, as well as gold and silver, is being found daily by persons just like yourself who are using quality-built metal detectors just like the Garrett ADS. For those of you who would like to learn more about treasure hunting and prospecting, I recommend the many Ram Publishing Company books. For instance, Electronic Prospecting will tell you how to use certain types of detectors for prospecting. Also, Garrett Electronics has other adventure treasure films you may want to see. I hope you have enjoyed watching Treasures of Mexico. It has been a real pleasure to present it for you. Thank you.
All right, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That's good stuff. What I wanted to ask you here at the end is I have a bunch of these old White's owner's manual on VHS format. Like here's the White's MXT. I have the Spectrum. I have the V3i. I got all kinds of them. If you guys are interested in seeing some of these old owner's manuals in video format, let me know. If I have it and I haven't already converted it to digital, I'll do that. I'll convert it to digital for you and upload it to the channel. Let me know if there's a certain White's machine. I think they're all White's as far as these go. They're all going to be White's machines. If there's a certain one you want and I have it, I'm happy to upload it to the channel for you. And as always, go down in the comments down below and ask me any questions. Tell me what you think about this particular video today with Chuck Garrett, Charles Garrett. And let me know if you have some stories to share about him. Maybe you met him personally or have some experiences you'd love to share down below. Hey, I look at all of your comments and I try to respond to all of them as well. Of course, my email is always down in the description down below of this video. Happy to look at your emails as well. You can check me out on expertdetecting.com where I do classes. That's mostly one-on-one stuff, one-on-one training. And that's it for now, guys. If you like this kind of stuff and you want to see more of these old 70s and 80s VHS videos, subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be dropping these things. I have probably 12 videos stacked up, all converted and ready to go. I'm going to drop them just, a couple a week or whatever. So if you want to see when they come out, hit the subscribe button, ring the little notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Okay, see ya.